Why, hi there, it's me. It's Uncle Rod. How are you? Hoping that you're enjoying your Thanksgiving weekend if you're in the States. If not, just closer to Christmas. I know that this time of year that people will buy new games. I bought a bunch myself, and I know that you probably out there did too. And I wanted to talk today about Dave and I did a show on this probably a couple years ago. And since the next few shows are kind of booked, I think I wanted to talk about it again. Um, how deep do you want a specific sport to be for you? Is what I'm gonna talk about today. I know that some people want to get in there and go as deep as far and as much into the weeds as possible regarding specific sports, and then find that they probably don't necessarily enjoy the games, or others who might try a sport that they don't necessarily know and go into a lighter version, such as a quick score or some sort of modified quick play, and it doesn't go far enough for you. So I think I want to clarify a few things in regards to that, and so that you can get the most out of your gaming dollar and out of your gaming time wherever you choose to do it. Obviously, your favorite sport would be the one that I would think that you'd want to go as complex as or as deep as you're comfortable with doing. If football, for instance, is your favorite sport and you know the game inside and out, then games like Action PC Football are probably going to be what you want because it is extremely detailed. You can do pretty much whatever you want on both offense and defense, and it gives you all the fun and excitement of a detailed football sim that you are the ones moving those chess pieces around, and you are the ones that responsible for either making the big play or stopping the big play or however else you want to do it. For someone who is more of a casual fan like me of football, then Solitaire Pro Football fits that bill. You roll a 50-sided die or flip a fixed 50-sided fast action card, and it tells you what play you should run and who that play should be given to, and the defense is given a letter, and you resolve the play that way. I can see the play happening in my mind's eye. For me, it is a full football experience without getting bogged down into, did I call the right play? Is there a difference between going with an off tackle run, an end run, or a trap, for instance? If you're looking for something more visual, and again, this is not a gift guide video, Pro Strategy Football for 20 some odd bucks on Steam with 80 some odd seasons will give you a lot of that, but doesn't give you the cards and dice feel of a game. So, those are three good examples right there. And of course, there's Fast Drive Football if you're just looking to resolve for scores, and Family Football Plus, which has you roll possession by possession. Those both are free games, along with Drive Time Football, which is currently have been developed and is coming out with new seasons and revisions all the time. I mean, there's so many different games out there for whatever specific sport that you want. And so the important thing I think is, find what your comfort level is and kind of go from there. For me, I really am a fan, baseball being my favorite sport. You see me play Action PC Baseball a lot, but I only play when I stream it. At this point in my gaming career, I'm much more into cards and dice experience, and right now I'm doing a lot of strap baseball offline because for me it scratches that itch. It's detailed enough that I feel like that my choices matter, and it's random enough that you never know what's going to happen during the course of a game, and just kind of so on and so forth. And I manually control everything. I don't use an AI when I play a Stratomatic product. I play the AI does the other games, but as far as when I sit and play a game, I am running both teams and trying to be fair for both teams, even if the team I want to win loses, which happens because dice are fickle that way. But again, for me, I'm comfortable with how that plays. My partner in crime, Dave Gardner, not his thing, but he is a casual baseball fan. Strap Basic, Appa Basic, Pocket Pennant all kind of fit that itch of it'll play a baseball game for you. It will be a good baseball game in the process. There's nothing wrong with it with a basic game. It's the amount of detail and description and decision making that he's comfortable with, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are some quicker baseball games out there, but you really can't get much more basic than Strat, Appa Basic, or Pocket Pennant Run. And so again, that's his level of comfort, and that's what you get the most enjoyment in, because I think it is possible that you get so caught up in what you're going to do. Are you going to blitz on 3rd and 10? When do you shift the infield? When do you pull the pitcher? Do you double team Mark Akers? And I'll tell you the answer to that is I don't think they double team Mark Akers in his junior high team. But, do you double team? When do you pull the goalie? All those sort of things that can be found in higher levels of each game is not necessarily something that people who are casual fans are interested in knowing and can enjoy. Here's another good example. Here's one I picked up for Black Friday. I picked up Main Event Boxing. Now, there are some very good boxing games on the market. Legends of Boxing 2, Glory Days Boxing, and Title Bout 2. And I have quite a few boxers for each. But Main Event came up in one of the Facebook groups that I help run. And so my birthday just came. I got some birthday money. I bought the game along with the heavyweight boxers. And for me, that was the right amount of detail to have in a game. It was not a break the rounds into 10 sections or 9 sections or that and resolve the segment, collect the points and go from there. This is a round by round game. And so you resolve to see what the point totals is after each round, whether there's a knockdown or a foul or something like that, and then you roll to see how the judges scored it. For me, it just is the right amount of detail and involvement that I would like in a boxing game. Plus, I think with the 3 supplements that I've bought with the game, and there's only one book I have left to buy, I have like 6,000 boxers. If you remember the game Title Bout PC, which was done by OOTP Developments about 10, 15, 20 years ago, that had several thousand boxers. There are people who did years and years and years of simulated boxing title events and stuff like that. I've been waiting to find something like that for a long time, and if I wanted to do that, and exclusively that, I could, because it's the right amount of detail for that. Now, another one that I was thinking of are golf games. There's APA and ASG, which are detailed shot-by-shot games. You pick the club, you pick the lie, you pick the course, you try to do what's best for the golfer. Action PC Golf kind of comes into that. You either roll the dice or hit the button, and for some, Action PC Golf, I think, is the best tournament golf simulator out there. It's also the most frustrating one if you aren't a real hardcore golf fan, because you really don't know, why did I do this? Why did the shot go 30 yards to the left? How do I salvage the next shot? Okay, so there are people who really enjoy that, and for others, it's just going to frustrate the living daylights out of. Then I picked up Player the Game Golf from Downey. Again, they're not paying me for this, and just for that. And it's a hole-by-hole game. And you roll, you can do quick rounds or do that, or go hole by hole. And again, it gives you, on a Player the Game is round by round, not hole by hole, round by round. And so it gives you enough detail of how a golfer scored on a certain day and what they may or may not have run into trouble with golf courses that, let's say, if the only thing you watch in golf over a course of a given season is the Masters, and you know what that course starts to look like. And you can picture in your head if Jack Nicklaus did well with the driver, or the Tiger Woods with the putter, or Phil Mickelson kind of got lost in the proverbial weeds. You can kind of see those things. And again, it's all about pleasing the engine in your mind's eye for that. So, again, find you should always be willing to try a new sport if you haven't played it before. But you know, poke around and find the level of detail that fits how you can imagine the sport. That's how you're going to get the most fun out of doing that. There's another good example. Like I said, growing up, I was much more a college basketball fan than a pro basketball fan, except for the Celtics, because we were spoiled. But strat basketball for me, as you've heard me talk about before, either here on the channel or on the Digital Dice podcast, is my favorite basketball game by a mile. Because I can control in my head how the game plays out, even if I can't specifically roll the dice. It plays well in the engine in my head. And there's a button you can press that the computers will set the individual defenses and double teams if you want. But again, let's talk about a game like regular season basketball, which I am serious, Marco. You make any seasons you make between now and January 1st, 2026, I will buy them, no questions asked. You make modern seasons, I'll buy them. You make 70 seasons, I'll buy them. Whatever it is, I'll buy it. Anyway, that game, and games like Player of the Game from Downey, you're assembling a game. You're not necessarily playing the game of basketball. You're rolling for a score or rolling to put together a stat sheet. It becomes a puzzle. You don't need any basketball knowledge to really enjoy regular season basketball, for instance. Write down on the sheet what you want to record, whether it's just the scores, whether it's just the individual scores, or build the full stat sheet there. I've actually seen someone on the Delphi forums do a complete, full regular season from regular season basketball. And to me, it just plays out like you're watching a game on television. Hockey, a good example. Lots of different high-level stuff or low-level stuff. You can go as low-level or as intro. Well, there's always the final score series if you're looking for some sort of just final score or classic hockey. Or there's shootout and stone cold, which give you the basics of highlights of scoring chances and some story. Or games such as APA, which the game plays out in front of you, or Hockey Bones, or Strat, where you have lots of decisions to make, or Action PC, when you're battling fatigue and having to change lines on the fly and adjusting in that. There are as easy and complex as you possibly can get. Depends on what you're looking for. So if you like an easy level of game, my recommendation is try the next level up. And if you like that, try the next level up. But again, the key is to put games on your table or on your computer that you're going to like and going to enjoy. And there are so many different sports out there. Tennis is a good example. I just picked up Player of the Game from Downey, which looks to be a fun game. I haven't quite tried it out yet, but it is a game-by-game thing. You play one key point and see who resolves it. I also have Time Travel Tennis, which is a shot-by-shot game, which can be, if you go a full 5-set match with a man, you could be doing over 1,000 dice rolls. For some, that's going to be way too much. But I truly enjoy it. Depends on. So again, to sum up, the more you like the sport, the more detailed you should try. And if you're more of a casual fan of a sport, back down a bit. And there's always something down a further level that you might enjoy to give you whatever it is that you want out of your tabletop or computer playing experience. It doesn't need to be all super duper advanced master of this and that. It can be as basic or as easy as you want to be. The key thing is to play and to enjoy. And there are so many different ways out there. And so I guess that's it. For your favorite sports, try to see how much detail you like in a game. And if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that. The key is not just like it was when I worked retail 1,000 years ago. Any idiot could come into my store. My job was to get you to come back. And so you can try out any game and see what you like. The games that agree with you the most will be the ones that you go back to over and over and over again and make you lifelong fans. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you the next time.